So the pen tool is pretty useful, but sometimes can be a little bit frustrating if you're new to it. We know that we can use the sub-selection tool to select points. I'm going to change the color of this so that you can see it a little bit better on your screen. I know that I can use it to click and hold down on points and move them around. And you may have even played around with the handlebars that occur when you have these points. I'm going to zoom in for a second here so we can kind of see it a little bit better. So we have these points, and we can move them, and then we have these handlebars. You'll notice that as I put my mouse over the handlebar, it changes into a little arrow. If I click and hold down, I can pull that handlebar around and make interesting curves with it. So I can also do the same for the other one and kind of balance them out. If I hold down Shift, it will constrain them to 45-degree angles. And I can basically pull out a curve and make it smooth or do whatever it is that I need to do with it. Well, the pen tool then is kind of the natural progression of that. You'll notice that there's actually a few different things here. We have the pen tool, add anchor point tool, delete anchor point tool, and convert anchor point tool. So first we're just going to use the regular old pen tool. If I click, it adds a point. Well, that doesn't really do very much yet, so I need to click somewhere else. It adds another point, click, click, and I'm not clicking and holding down, I'm just clicking. So at this point then, this is a line. It's not filled with anything. If I put my mouse near this starting point that I have, you'll notice that it puts a little circle next to the icon. I click, and then that has entirely made a complete loop, if you will. There's no open spots. From there, I can go in then and fill it if I see fit. Now that was just clicking without dragging. If I click and hold down, then I get those handles. So I clicked and I held down. Now I'm going to click and hold down, and again, again, and again. So now I can do the same thing, fill it if I see fit. So one of the things too is that it can add points. You'll notice that as I put my mouse near to the line that I've created here, it gets a little plus to it. I click and then it's added another point. Now with the sub-selection tool I could go in and I could change that point. This is exceptionally useful if you need to make some fine-tuning to some drawings that you've made, or something is amiss and you need to fix it. You can actually go ahead and do the add anchor point tool and just click wherever you want those points. You have to be careful, though, that you aren't like clicking randomly around. It only really works if you're right there next to the line. But you did notice, of course, that that kind of happened automatically when we approached the line. It became that little plus, and I can add. Well, the delete anchor point tool, then if I get near to one of these, I can delete a point as well. The other option is to use the sub-selection tool, select it, and hit delete. But sometimes you might find that you just prefer using the pen tool for that. I'm going to use the pen tool and I'm going to make a shape here. And then I'm going to now show you the convert anchor point tool. So at this point, there's no way to get a hold of the little handles here because there's no curves. I could use just the regular selection tool and pull out a curve, or I can go back into the pen tool and choose convert anchor point tool. So I click that, then I'm holding down now, so I clicked and held down, and now I can create those handlebars so I can make the actual curve. So there's multiple ways to do that, and now you've seen a couple of them. I'm sure there's probably 5 more that I'm not aware of. But the pen tool is very powerful. I don't use it as much as I probably should. I kind of get in the habit of using the sub-selection tool. But you, starting out, might find that the pen tool works really well for you.